Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon to this presentation of the submission for the utilities innovation category. And the company we represent is called EIia. And my name is Nicholas Tobax. I take care of CAD and GIS support within the EIia company. And my colleague Jonathan van Echel is a very experienced power substation designer. And of course, we have a lot of colleagues. I cannot mention here, but they're also with us. So the colleagues certainly contributed for a big part of everything you're going to see here. Okay, let's see if technology works here. So EIia is a Belgian company. Who knows where Belgium is? Yeah, okay, it's a very small country. Our joke when we have to tell this to the United States people is, well, Belgium, it is a city in Brussels. So, okay. So you see on the left slide there, this orange part is in fact the EIia group, and we work in fact for the left side, a little country called Belgium, and that's EIia Belgium, and then you have the EIia group, which is covers also a part of the German TSO, which is called 50 Hertz. And then you see a little line there that's a joint venture between EIia and the local UK TSO, which is National Grid. And so there's this joint venture for not underground, bottom of the sea cable connecting. And there were a lot of big connection projects, but that's not the case. You see some figures here, 30,000 residents and kilometers of cable and territory and network covered. Okay. So there is which we call internally, you have these acronyms. So the I will take, sorry, glasses. Sorry. Okay. Whoa. So this IPM means infrastructure project management, and on the left side in green, so these are the running projects that are running, and this can run from a few months till a few years. So we do approximately 60 projects each year. There you have departments in, so you have the LV, low voltage, high voltage. LAS is linear assets and structures, and TGX means technical governance and expertise. And then on the blue side, the right side, you see assets, and then DMI, that's the service I work for, it's data management and informatization. And so these are this is the existing assets, and these are the things that are already done and or are archived. So it's the archive and asset, and there we have a GIS system from ESRI, and then on the left, and also on the blue side, there is a lot of MicroStation work, because with MicroStation, we edit all the information that is in the spatial database. And on the left side, it's a bit of different softwares together. Okay. So that's an example. That's LV, those schematics. That's done in AutoCAD. That's and it's plain vanilla AutoCAD. So it's simple. This is an example of power lines, where you can see these vertical lines coming from up, down there, and they come next to the highway to a substation, and then it goes further. You see these 70 kilovolt lines. So that's typical work on topographic maps of the National Geographic Institute. Okay, so that's an example from cables. So MicroStation work. Okay. Oh, sorry. Out of sync. Voilà. This is an example. We see if the technology works. So if you click, no, so this one. If you click on the pylon, it should open a 3D PDF, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. But who knows and who uses 3D PDF? So you probably know what is going to come there. But this is a nice example of interoperability, because we managed to communicate with MicroStation users, and this pylon model. The pylon model is done in Tekla, formerly known as Xsteel. So it's totally different software with different data formats, and that's a big challenge in the engineering world. So we succeeded using the IFC format, industry foundation classes, and through that we have very good results. Even the bolts, the beams, all the parts are into the information model and available through 3D PDF. Okay. We're stuck in PDF. Oh, well, okay. Well, that's, there you see it, but we should, I don't know, I will probably not be able to move around and zoom in, zoom out, so I can give it a try, but oh, no, it's just a pointer. No, but it's okay. So you can see it on the, oh, no, I must stay here for the, yeah. You can zoom in, and on the left side you can analyze the parts, you can isolate parts, you can have live sections. As of version Adobe Reader 11, also on the right side you can have comments, you can make 3D measurements, and if there is English text, you can even read out loud, so you can hear the text. That's pretty funny. Okay, so we can skip that one and go to the next slide. I saw the gentleman was enthusiastically playing with it. Okay, so here's also a link. We'll see if that works. So that's an example of what we're here to talk about, and that's in that department we started the initiative, and that's what we call advanced substation design in a managed environment. And so that's substation design, that's in 3D. We are doing this, and you see all the parts done in MicroStation. I'll just give one click here. This is well, it's not a high-end visualization, but it's an example I promised to show to one of our colleagues, and he's from the field, he's a technician person, so he never used MicroStation, never used animation software, so we just showed, and that's interesting for the things we learned in the keynote 1 hour ago, is that with YouTube, you can find links on how to do it, and so just by looking and searching a bit himself, he succeeded in making that little video. He had to do for, it's a new substation, and it was a little safety film he was making, so okay. Okay, so project initiatives. Who knows PAS 55? ISO 55000, it's called now because it changed. But that was one of the reasons why we started investigating in solutions like ProjectWise. And ProjectWise helped us to accomplish one of the main important aspects of this ISO 55000, which is documentation, which is traceability of all your documents. And there we come to this managed environment because ProjectWise allows us to manage all these files. Okay, so we started in 2015, and then we also test ongoing, and in parallel we are testing other solutions which improve locally in that specific engineering department or across other engineering departments, or even with the outside world, to also improve our communication. So not necessarily project-wise. That's what I mean with advanced, and that you will see in the next slide. Okay. So this is, oh, sorry. We're not, okay, next one. So this is an example of the server architecture. You see this, the standard project-wise integration server. But we took, who uses ProjectWise? A few, yeah, so we have integration server, but we also took the iModel composition server to make PDF renditions, Interplot server to compare, and the web server. That, well, okay, we can discuss later, because web server we're not using because the web server doesn't support the rule-based design. So, and I know the British standard, BS 1192, so that's also matching the PAS 55 ISO 55000 process. So these are the servers we are using for the moment. Okay. So, and this is also, I think, one of the slides Bhupinder showed, where we're trying to move away all the non-orange cylinders. So everything will come together, is partially already coming together. So all this other color than orange, because Elia is, orange is the company color, are file servers. And some are also servers with a database connected. So, and I didn't mention there the GIS system, but that's also one of the things we want to do is connecting the GIS database. Okay. Here, every ProjectWise user starts with the ID, KIS, KISS, keep it simple. Yeah, so that's what we also did when we started. And well, on the right side, you see our initial idea. So on the right side in gray, that's the engineering department workflow. So in a typical workflow, the designer starts, there is a approved or rejection process from a coordinator, and then it goes down to a project leader, and then the designer takes it back again, and it moves to the left side of the flow, which is as-built or archive plan management department. So, and where it started initially in one department, it will grow now all over the country, all over the company. And on the left side, the whole left, you see a blue box. That's in fact the archive. So that's called operational, and it moves from status and from access, and that's the way it works. So the file server from the substation is 1.5 terabytes, I think, today. So we tried it first time with drag drop. It was impressive. It went very fast and very easily. So 1.5 gigabyte transferred with drag and drop. But afterwards, we took other techniques to move this. This is an example of the benefits. So we did, before we do any project, before we do any testing, we must make a little business case and do some exercise. And so we have a lot of Excel sheets we prepared with management from departments and with users. And so we came to only for the substation design department, we came to 100 to 120 euro, 100 to 120,000 euro each year. Okay, not necessarily the first year because you have the purchase of the licenses, but and it's that's an example. And now, by going wider in the company, we'll have I don't know 4 or 6 FTEs, full-time equivalents extra to it. On the left side, this is one we like very much. It's a dependency view. So if you work with MicroStation, we have a lot of reference files from other departments, like the linear assets. We take it into substation, and they take our files into reference. So that's all right. All right. More tools. So there's a couple of slides where I tried to explain things, and that's what the advanced part of the title of the submission is. So this. Who is familiar with the type of view? So it's called lightning protection. So, and the technology is called rolling sphere. So you have an imaginary sphere that goes around your highest points or cables, and then you can see everything that comes out of your generated surface, like a circus tent, that is not protected. So you see here the little block coming out, so that's not protected. So we have to make the masts higher or put an extra mast, and that design process takes a lot of time. So we do it manually with modeling tools. We have VBA developed to help in this, but it takes 3 to 4 hours to do a little lightning calculation and simulation. So the Bentley substation tool allows us to do this in just a few minutes. So 60 projects, 25 designers, and so you have a quick business case. But apart from that, there are also other advantages. That's a laser scan of tools. We do a lot of brownfield work, so laser scan, 3D point clouds, and meshes allow us to simulate what is the constraint, what the constraints are, and everybody who's familiar with high voltage knows that you have to stay at a safe distance from high voltage. So, and with this you can anticipate and see where the clearance is and where you have design possibilities to add some alternative designs. That one comes from EcoSim. EcoSim allows to work with Dialux. Who knows Dialux? So Dialux, Dialux or Realux, it's a light analysis software, free analysis software. A lot of building people work with it. So when we make a substation, we have roads and we need to put light poles in there, and that has to meet standards. So we need to have enough light. And the Dialux software allows to make very nice reports and show what you see there, ISO lines. And these ISO lines you can thematically color, and then if you have a legend next to it, so you can, for instance, know, okay, everything that is green or yellow is 20 lumen or lux, and then you know it meets the standard. Okay. Unfortunately, when we go to Dialux, you have to export your model. And Dialux, unfortunately, has not the same power engine as MicroStation has. So it's a pain to work on a laptop with Dialux to do this process. So we asked Bentley, we have change requests to integrate just this isolines functionality. Because here you can import Dialux information into EcoSim, but that's not what we want. We want to stay in MicroStation and do these isolines within MicroStation. That would be a better solution. So I hope if people have the same needs, please also send a change request to Bentley. That can help. Okay, this is GPS. So with GPS, we need to reference the laser scanning or context capture things. This is an example of a steel beam. So we make the design in 3D MicroStation. We didn't make a lot of benefit by going to 3D because 10 years ago, 12 years ago, we already worked in 3D. So we have this methodology of models, drawing, sheets, and so that's used by every designer. But our models are not intelligent unless we use a tool like ProStructures, EcoSim, Substation, etc. So these are intelligent, they know what they are. And this is an example of something we try to achieve with the people who calculate the steel structures in the substations. So they use SKIA engineers, another software. And we did some tests, and with the IFC model, again, we succeed in have some decent intelligence, and the latest, very latest version of ProStructures now allows to make an IFC model with the analytic lines and the connections in the model. So it's brand new. But that's also a result of we challenge a little bit Bentley, and Bentley challenged us a bit, so we try to communicate and hope that what we ask can be integrated in the next release, and that can be beneficial for all the users. Okay, checking my time here, almost at 20 minutes. That's a context capture, pretty hot stuff software. So we did some tests, and there are calculations done at this very moment. So I took a lot of pictures in one substation, and we're evaluating the experience. What we know is you have to really learn how to take these pictures. There's really a methodology to take these pictures. It's not just taking pictures and get your 3D model. It's much more than that. But if you master the techniques, it's okay. That's also context capture. So what's next? In January, and I put the year 2017, so that's very soon. We're rolling out project-wise, not only for the HV department, but also corporate-wide, and it will be 600 viewers, 300 field technicians, and 25 designers, 25 project leaders. So we need clients for that. And it will be exciting January months. Windows 10, of course. Windows 10, you need compatibility, you need certified software. So the V8i SS4 is certified, and the Descartes V8i SS6 is certified. So we plan to roll out that also and make one installation pack. It's ready for Windows 7, and you can smoothly migrate it to Windows 10. We tested it, so that will go smoothly. And then we leave the designers easily adapt to the new Windows 10 environment, because you must not force too much change, so we try to be careful with not forcing too much change at the same time. And when Windows 10 is stabilized, then we go to the Connect edition. Okay, that's our strategy. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, continue integration. So with EIGIS, that's our GIS system, we took ProjectWise because ProjectWise has this ability to connect to geospatial servers, to spatial servers, and that could show some interesting paths to take. Also for the point clouds, we use more and more point clouds, especially context capture, laser, LiDAR, and there we plan to test this point cloud streaming engine within ProjectWise, so it should give also better results. Okay, IEC 61850, that's a standard where all the substation information will be digital, so less with PLCs like it is today, but if you have the standard schematics, you saw the slide with electrical schematics, well, it's likely that it's going to change in the future and that you will not have a drawing with the lines and the interrupters, but you will have just an Excel sheet with values and functions of the equipment you have in your design. So, but we feel comfortable because the management of the products, electrical products within Bentley, are within the steering of the ISC 61850 committee. So, but we have to follow that up. Virtual reality, of course, so the HoloLens are very interesting, and HP has nice tools also. Okay, so that was one last slide there, which is very important to us. It's user communities and the user groups. So we, well, in Belgium, but also with neighbor countries, we promote very much users talking to each other and exchanging. And thanks to the user communities, for instance, well, we invited UCB Pharma and Monsanto, who also work with ProjectWise. They came to us, we visited them, and then we exchange ideas. So it's very beneficial, and it's a small investment, and most of the time you make nice friends and you can have a beer together. And so that's user groups, and of course for TSOs, an event like this is interesting for us, where we hope, and I hope here, and it's an invitation for other TSO people who do the same thing as Elia. We'd love to talk with you and exchange ideas.